Quality Engineering Solutions Laboratories. QES HPBA-2 Mark II. This is an Italian-made headphone amplifier. And the company makes pro gear, and this is designed as a pro item. And I'm going to make this review very simple if you only want to watch the first minute of it. It's probably one of the best sounding headphone amps I've ever heard. But if you stick around for the remainder of this video, you're going to understand what it's like to own a 1970s-ish Italian sports car. Because, I mean, I've watched Top Gear. I never owned an Italian sports car, but I know Top Gear, and I know people tell me stories about Alfa Romeos. And, you know, the Alfa Romeo is perfect for one day. And then the rest of the time it's in the shop or it's overheating or the electrics don't work. So, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's Italian. I'm Italian. I'm half Italian. Only half. And the Italian half of me is like, God damn, this sounds amazing. And the other half of me is going to tell you about the rest of this amplifier. And strap in. Enjoy the wallpaper. Under the hood. Oh, yeah. Now, when I say it's made in Italy, I don't mean like, well, they get a bunch of Chinese parts to make it in Italy. These tortillas all are Reoli. They're all Italian. Everything in them is Italian. It says Italian names on everything. I don't think the capacitors are Italian. I don't know if you could actually do that. Maybe they are. What do you want to know about this thing? Everything? Okay. Let's at least look at what it can do. It's not very complicated. Power plug in. This one's set to 110. XLR inputs. That's the only input. XLR outputs for your headphone. That's the only output. A power switch. And a big golden knob infrared receiver and a little tiny OLED screen that says attenuation. Now, let's look at the feet before I go and hook anything back up. This was sent to me. The company contacted me and they said, hey, we want to send you our amp. We were working on a Mark II. And then he disappeared for 4 months and they came back. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember you. Do you still want it? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I want to try this. He never told me the price. And I started looking and I can't find the price. And I go to websites that talk about this unit and they're like, if you want the price, you might want to ask for a quote. So we're going to go on the assumption it's a little over $1,000. Maybe it's $2,000. Maybe it's $10,000. I don't know. I wanted to do this blind because it's more fun that way. So, little cups, and the little cups have little brass inserts, and there's little, you screw these on, and it's got the points. It's got the points that all audiophiles love. Ooh, spiky points, right? Spiky points. When I got this unit, 2 of these feet, which had been crazy glued to the bottom of this metal box, had broken off or loose in the box. So I put them back on. I ripped them all off, and I put them all back on with blue tack, or in this case, gray tack. So now all the feet are attached in the right locations, I might add. Too many places here. Look, gray tack. Isn't that wonderful? Just blue tack shit. Just boom, right there. Like, yeah, like right. That looks like where it needs to be. Perfect. He said he's got a better solution for that now, and I hope that's the case. So you can get the spikes. You can put the spikes down in your expensive and offensive. They're real close together. Wooden thing or whatever. I had cutting board. But it comes with these nice pads, which you have to assemble, and they're aluminum, and they're nice and lightweight. You put it down. So that's how I'm keeping from destroying my table, is with those. I'm going to put this back down again now. Oh, God. Oh, please don't break my table. There we go. So now it's floating, because that's very important for your headphone amplifier, that it be floating on points. That's an audiophile thing. Unnecessary, but we're moving on. It comes with a remote. Comes with a remote. It's a hell of a remote, ain't it? Beautiful, by the way. Aluminum, nicely weighted, heavy. Lots of nice metal buttons. I added speaker surround foam to the edges because, frankly, every time I picked it up, it was cold and slippery. And I just love the way that speaker surround foam feels. And that'll last forever. I've had it on my Emotiva thing. Do I want... Let me... Before we go, it does sound amazing. You gotta understand that all of this, balanced input, balanced output, that's all just to make some headphones go. This thing weighs 12 pounds. It is a monster. All right? It's currently consuming 37 watts. It's... Well, other than this. Let me see, unplug this. Hold on, wait. All right, that was 2 watts. 35 watts are currently being drawn to make this go. And there's nothing even going. The music's playing, but there's nothing plugged in. So, full Class A. How do you know it's full Class A? Do you want to get into the negatives yet? I already talked about the feet and how the feet broke off, but I'm assuming he's going to fix that. Where do I begin? Because here's the thing. I'm gonna keep repeating it throughout this video. It's one of the... It might be the most endgame headphone amplifier you could ever listen to as far as soundstage, separation, warmth. Oh my god, my selection of headphones here. I've got the Verite. I want to make sure I get it right, the little accent marks. The Verites are here, all right? The Verites are here. I got my highly modified M1060Cs out. Those are my Ether C Flows. These are the T60RPs. All those headphones are here because they're balanced, and you can't use a non-balanced set of headphones on this. You can't combine into a standard 1/4-inch jack or you'll blow something up. And so here's the thing. It's only got dual XLR outs. So if you have a set of like double helix cables, oh, you're all set. You're fucking set. I don't subscribe to that thing, like that whole double helix thing, but I did build this set of like 1/4-inch, and you know, I put the adapters on the end, and then I went out to Amazon and I bought these things which adapt XLR to 1/4-inch, because these were cheap patch cables and I just changed the ends out. Actually, we're done with the with those. So part 1. That's weird that it doesn't have at least a 4-pin. At least just give me a standard balance plug in case I don't have double helix cables. But it doesn't offer that. We have to talk about so many things. Jesus Christ. All right. In the rules, and this doesn't come with a manual. This comes with rules. You are not supposed to turn it on or turn it off with headphones plugged into it. That's a rule. And for good reason. Because of the purity we're going for here. There's no capacitors in line with the thing. There's no filters. There's nothing that stops it from going pop and bzzz when you turn it on and off. It's like a GT3 RS. It's got nothing in the way. No airbags, no radio, no creature comforts, air conditioning. What the fuck is that? It's just pure amplification, which is why it sounds so good. But you can't turn it on with headphones plugged in, or turn it off with headphones plugged in. So you turn it on. I would love to lean this back so you could see the screen. You get a nice little OLED. You get my reflection in that. It's very, very shiny and gold. So Italian. Listen. You could actually see the relay array for the volume. I guess we should talk about the main problem with this amplifier is the volume control. That's it. That's the main problem. It's very, very picky on DACs because you need, again, rules, not instructions, rules. You need to have, according to the manual, it recommends highly, that you install it with a DAC that is capable of inputting 24 dBu plus, or 0. Yeah, basically it wants a balanced DAC, and it wants a balanced DAC that can run 12 volts into it. So I have honestly several balanced DACs here. Let's see, where is it? Output, input. Where's inputs? Yeah, 24 plus 24 dBu or 0 dBFS. 12.28 volts RMS is what it wants. It wants. I've got the RME ADI2 here. I've got the Geshelli Labs MkII-2 balanced. I've got my XDA-2 Emotiva balanced. I've got that Stoner Acoustics balanced. I've got my Jotunheim balanced. I got all these balanced decks. I do have balanced decks. And not a single one of them pushes that sort of line output. None of them. The closest thing is this one, which does a plus 13, which it wants plus 24, but we'll settle with plus 13 because I hooked up this and I hooked up the other ones, and on some headphones, it literally couldn't get loud enough. I'm like, this is a 12-pound amplifier. Why isn't it getting loud enough? It wants this insanely high amount of power. And it's got jumpers here to choose input gain, but they don't help much. I've removed them and it gets real sketch. When you take them out, it gets way louder, but it's also got no input limiters. Bad news. So there is a gain control there that you can pop out some jumpers, but it doesn't help much. So we got weird things. We've got to talk about the volume control. This is going to take the entire video. It's the most... I don't want to keep saying it's the most Italian thing, because I'm Italian and I love Italian things, and I pride myself in having Danish speakers and Japanese headphones. And Italy, oh my fucking God, Italy, Italian. But this is the 70s Italian. So you got a big gold volume knob that clicks, right? Now I'm turning it down, and it goes from negative 127.5 all the way up to 0. Now, this volume knob can control every half decibel, right? There's 1.5, -2, -2.5, -3. But he picked a rotary controller that locks like that. So when you turn the knob, sometimes it'll go down 2 decibels, and sometimes it'll go down 2.5 decibels, and sometimes it'll go down 1 decibel. It just, like if you do this, listen. 2 clicks, 3 clicks, 3 clicks, 1 click, 2 click. So makes the volume knob very scary, because when I can't push the maximum input level it needs, I have to get this near 0 maximum to get it to work. And the last 5 decibels of volume on this, from 5 to 4.5 to 4 to 3.5 to 3 to all the way to 0, exponentially go up. Half a decibel down and 0 decibels is like a huge 20% increase in power, maybe 15. Also, and I found this out today, if you go from negative 16, so you're going up in volume, you go from negative 16 to negative 15.5, the volume actually drops and then goes back up. It just goes up, 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 down, then back up. So something's wrong with the way the steppers are aligned, that it actually drops in volume when you're supposed to be going up. Again, Italian problems. We need to talk about, let's talk about the DAC situation. So, the remote, the knob is terrifying, because the knob just decides to jump up 2 or down 2.5 and up 1 or no. So when you're near the top, it can just go wherever it feels like. So I do not like touching the knob. The other major issue that this has, and I'll test it actually with these, because this is one of the harder things to, that's backwards. These are some of the harder ones to drive, are my Emotivas. Hold on, we'll put this volume up for a negative something. Okay, nothing's playing. You turn the unit on, it's at negative 127.5, right? Right? You follow me? I need to turn the volume up. Near the top, 17, 7.5, 5, 1.5 decibels, 0. That's as loud as it'll go. I have that sort of tuned. All right, so let's go back down to negative 127.5. What that's doing right now is at the lowest possible volume, if I keep turning the knob for a split second, maximum volume comes out of the headphones. Do you understand the concept of that? So I'm down here in the negative 120s, and if I go down to negative 127, which is the lowest it'll go, it is the state it comes on. You turn this amplifier on, that is the state it turns on at. That's not good. Again, Italian problems. Luckily, this pair of headphones, and I have this down, so it's real hard to drive, and this is not putting out the full voltage. But if this was a proper setup with the full voltage input, and you turned it on, and then you plugged in your things, and you grabbed it, I've touched the knob like that, and it's just gone down, and the headphones go, ah, ah, and I'm like, oh fuck, what did I do? So that took me a bit to figure out what the hell that was. So you think, okay, Zeos, I won't touch the knob. We'll use the remote, and it's a beautiful remote. And I had to open it up and had to put the batteries in, and oh, it's great. Remind me to take the batteries out of this. Obviously, this is not the remote for this unit. This unit has no functions. It's just in, out, volume. You can't even, power doesn't do anything. There's nothing to open. By the way, you're going to have to leave this lid off, and I'll tell you why in a second, because those, this is an Italian pizza oven on top of being an Italian amplifier. Because I've got the lid off, the lid off, and it's beautiful here. It's fucking beautiful. And I had it set up with the lid on, and I had the RME DAC on top of it, not blocking the vents. There's nice vents here. Look, oh, there's vents. Okay, I gotta leave these vents uncovered. And then I went to go shut the RME DAC off at night, and I went, wow, the RME DAC is hot. I didn't realize it got so hot. I thought it was a cooler, running unit. It is a cooler running unit. The surface of this was 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Do the math. So, okay, I put it up on block so that there was airflow, because this here was 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So today, I pull out my infrared thermometer, and if we look at, well, the pieces back there, they're not bad. They're like 98, that's fine. These, 201 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 93 degrees Celsius. These 4 output transistors are 200 degrees Fahrenheit with nothing playing. Just all the time, because it's Class A. So, that's why it's 35 watts running right now. 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And here's the shit kicker. Those vents are not even over them. This needs an active cooling solution or a much bigger heatsink. Needs. You know how Italian cars overheat? Boom. It hasn't stopped working. It hasn't smoked up. But that's insanely hot for a headphone amplifier. So, if the owner of this says, look, keep it, I'll keep trying different DACs, because I'd love to keep playing with it, because it fucking sounds great. But I'm going to keep saying it sounds great, and I'm going to keep having to go back to, oh, by the way, the volume control tries to kill you. Oh, by the way, this gets to 200 degrees fucking Fahrenheit. And that's underestimating. It's 201, actually. Oh, you can't leave the headphones plugged in when you turn it on and off. I have to unplug this. Then I can turn it off. Or you hear all the things wind down. Because I tried it. Because I had a cheap set of headphones on. I'm like, all right, let me see what happens. And you hear beep, 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 pop, pop, pop. And turning it on is like a big, loud fucking thump. And then turning on with headphones plugged in anyway starts you at negative 127. So you're at, all right, I really want to, I went the wrong way. And then you have to turn it all the way up. It's a very scary amplifier. Because these are the most impossible to drive headphones on it. And I don't know why, because I usually don't have a lot of problem with my things. Let's put something else on. Now, since I don't have a way to plug in like normal headphones, and I don't want to pull out all the ones with these wires, I whipped out this monstrosity. And this is 1/4 inch to 3.5 millimeter adapters that go to these 3.5 millimeter stereo split plugs that goes to a 2.5 millimeter balanced output that I had specifically made by Ursine Audio so that I could run my own S7 through my iSigns. But now I have this 4-pole 2.5 millimeter adapter to XLR. So now look what I've got. I've got a normal headphone output in balanced. And it only takes 1, 2, 3, 4 adapters to get here. So now that I have that, I can play with anything I want. As long as it's balanced. You could not go from this to single-ended. You'll blow shit up. Ready for some orgasmic experiences? All right, good. Let's turn the RME DAC down all the way to like negative 60. The secret to this amplifier is to pretend it's a power amplifier, that the volume doesn't exist. And here's how you do that. You turn it on, and you go to maximum volume. Did anyone see what I just did? You should have been paying attention. Let's go back to the remote control. The remote control, all these buttons, none of them do anything. Aha! Now, this is the better remote control, the upgraded remote. There's a cheaper plastic one that usually comes with the unit, and this is the better one. And I'm not sure if these problems exist on the cheaper plastic one, but did anyone see what I just did? I hear you ready? Mute. Stop. Then you get individual volume control down here. Half decibel increments. One click. Nice. Now, repeat, random, A, B, program. All these do nothing. Play, pause, do nothing. But next track, last track, skip forward, skip back actually function. Now, since the only thing we can control on this is the volume, skip forward is 5 decibels. So I'll go 104, 99, 94, 89 if I want to back that out to 90. And then I can jump 5, 80, 75, 70. Ooh. Next track, 60, 50, 40. So these will jump. This jumps the volume at half a decibel. This jumps the volume 5 decibels. And this jumps the volume 10 decibels. These top 4 you can program to set volume levels. That's pretty cool. And then stop is mute. Now, if you hit mute and then you hit volume down, it doesn't do that thing where it blows your headphones up. The real issue I have with this remote, and why I was using it and it was fine, and then all of a sudden I went, oh God, no. Because the knob is scary, because it jumps around randomly. And then this remote has a fucking button on it. And tell me if you've ever wanted this feature in your entire life. 0 makes the volume maximum. Just this random button here. You know, right next to the jump button. Just, you know what I really want in my living room? I want something that sets my crown amplifiers just maximum instantly. No! No, you don't ever offer that. Ever. Never, ever, ever should that be a button on a thing. Ever. Mute is fine. Going up in slightly larger increments is fine. A maximum volume button? Are you insane? I'm talking to the Italian man. Remove that. You know how many times I hit that to make this rant? Once. I hit it once. No. So, now the remote control is scary too. Beautiful, fucking amazing. And by the way, it doesn't work really well with a FLIRC. I tried to just get it so I can do like next track, last track. But since this does that, I'd have to just separate the 2 units. Like this could never have a remote, and this could never be in the same room with it. And then I'd have to find if the FLIRC could ever control it. Because it would be, oh, I love this thing. I fucking love it. Fucking love it. Can't use it. Scary. Can't use that. Scary. So the solution is turn this up to maximum, plug your headphones in, and use your goddamn DAC to control everything. Forget this has a volume control at all. This is the only way I've been able to cope with this headphone amplifier. If I use the Emotiva, I'd use the remote on that. But I'm using the RME DAC. You know why? Because it has the highest output, even higher than the Emotiva. Plus 13. Now I could sit here and like a gentleman, I was waiting for the cable to come for the Fostex, because then I would have Germany, Italy, and Japan, and it'd be like, oh shit, it's on. Let's plug this in. See, now this is at 0. This is done. This is just a box that gets very hot in the corner. This is controlling the volume. This is a DAC. This controls everything, and I could do it in such beautiful increments. Oh, fuck me, man. As much as I'm yelling, every time I yell, I have to stop and go back and say, oh my God. It sounds so beautiful. It fucking sounds so beautiful. And I have these heavily modified M1060Cs, which are an amazing set of headphones. I can't believe they went to $250. But these low Sodo designed backs, they're like $100 and something. Those are Odyssey vegan pads. Those are $100. This cable, this came from Periapt. That's like 80 bucks. And then the headband, I might switch it out to the Odyssey headband. And then this would be like a $700 set of headphones. And you know what? I would let... That's just fucking amazing, all right? It sounds amazing. I'm going to go out and I'm going to complain about every little itsy bitsy bitty thing about this. And then I'm going to come back around and I'm going to say, by the way, this is probably one of the best sounding headphones amp I've ever heard. I love that's machined in. That's laser engraved in there. So is this balanced headphone. It needs some fixes. If he comes out with this is the Mark II. I'm going to design the Mark III for him right now. Step 1, actual 4-pin headphone output. Just please, for people like me, for people who don't have this, because these are $10 a piece. This is custom made. I don't think this was $26 just to get the headphone to work. Just to get like normal headphones to work. The volume knob. You can fix the volume. That whole go down past 0, past negative 127 and have it shoot to the highest volume. That is the scariest fucking thing on earth. Fix that and you got part of the problem gone. I know I can't tell them to put in buffers so that when you turn it on or off, you can leave your headphones plugged in. That's like part of the charm of this thing is that it's so insanely simple. It's like, no safety features, no airbags, no seatbelts, just know what you're doing. The remote. For the love of God, get rid of that button that makes it maximum volume. Just get rid of it. Does not need to be here. A better cooling solution than nothing. Those little things are going to burst into flames. Just better venting on top. Hell, a fan. If I keep this, if I end up keeping this, and I end up using it for reviews, I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it will have an active cooling solution. It'll have a big fucking fan right here. Nice, like a 9-volt running 140 millimeter goddamn Knox. You could actually just feel it radiating off the top. I could warm my hands in the wintertime. Oh, God, yeah. I was describing all these problems to other people, and they're all like, well, that sounds like a terrible amp. But the day you get it right, the day you feed it properly and can control it, this is the control section. This is just the muscle. This is just Italian muscle. I know all about it. Giggity goo. Once you get it to a headphone that you love, through the adapters that you need, and you just completely disable the volume control on this end, it's perfect. It's fucking perfect. This right here is probably the best you're going to ever hear in my apartment. That DAC, which, by the way, that's $1,100 on its own, so it's probably equaling the cost on this. Again, don't quite know the price. If you know the price, put it in the description of this video in the comments, and I'll add it. Because I'm not going to ask. Because him and I had a couple discussions back and forth, and he's explaining how things are supposed to go, and I'm like, that's the Italian conversation. I love the way this sounds. I love the way it makes my music come out of headphones. But it's got all these issues. The remote with the scary button, the volume with the scary knob, the heat, the feet falling off. These are little things. These are little tiny things that could be fixed in like 2 seconds. The fact that the volume knob is wonky. It's also got an indicator when it doesn't need it, look, it sort of wobbles around. By the way, that's all the way down, all the way up. It's kind of cool. The Italian tordials, everything in here is the way it sounds is like, if this didn't sound good, you'd have a real negative review. But it sounds fucking amazing. It's just you can't run the DAC. You got to get the right DAC, and even this is not enough of a DAC to really get all the power out of it. And if you play with the jumpers, you can't fix that. It's just, oh God. I'm so happy to have it here, and I just wanted to, like, I want to fix all these little things. Just whatever. Okay. Links to this in the description of the video. Okay? Links to something else in the description of the video. That wallpaper, certainly, because you need her. Because she's been smiling the whole time. She's a beautiful Italian girl. I'm assuming that in Japan. She's beautiful. Look at her. Oh, my God. She's crazy. She's going to cut you at night. But is it worth it? It's kind of worth it. Just listening to, like, the verities on this is just... Oh, wait, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. It was in one of these pieces of paper that I don't actually have. Oh, yeah. So on the Facebook page, because I started looking for the price, and I actually came up with the Quality Equipment Solutions. Is it equipment? No, wait. Where are you? Quality Engineering Solutions, which is a fucking ironic thing considering the engineering non-solutions that are here. But I came up on the Facebook page, and it says, a brand new version of the HPBA-2 LE, limited edition. So this is the Mark II, not the LE. Custom built for Mr. Thomas Bangalter, founder of Daft Punk. So the founder of Daft Punk has one of these, slightly different. The plugs are here, and there's a screen in the middle, and the volume's to the left, and the bigger switch to the right. So it's an older post from 2015, and this is 2018. So these do exist out there in the real world, and people are using them. And people are using them with, they claim they're using with HD800s, or like the big. I don't have HD800s. I never really particularly liked them, but I always said the HD800s are very, very amp dependent. And if I had to depend on an amp, this monstrosity. Put it on your wish list, and keep an eye out for the Mark III. I'm hoping the Mark III has, things and stuff that make better. If you like these videos and you want to support them, the Patreon link is in the description or in the upper right. I also sell things in the yard sale when I'm done with them. I'm not selling this or that or the Verites. Not. So nothing here you're getting, but I do sell things every month. You also can get into a $10 Patreon tier, which puts you in a private Telegram with me and other people, and I answer your questions every day. You go in there, you at me, I answer your questions. So that's wonderful means of paying my rent. Comment here if you own one of these, if you've heard one of them. Back me up or tell me I'm wrong. All right, that's what the comments in YouTube are for. They're to make sure the people making the video aren't fucking lying to you. Thank you to QES Labs for sending this out. I hope it stays here, and I hope I can one day find a DAC capable of controlling it. And even if it's not just controlling, even if it's just a straight up DAC, I've got to I'll just put something else in line. I'll control this. It's all about control, and this just needs more control. Anyway, wallpaper, links. Thank you, Patreon. See you in the next one. No, that's not my line. Damn it. Someone figure out a catch line, a closing line for me. I need it.